Welcome to Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 140 coming at you today. It's a big episode.
Yeah, big episode.
It's a big episode.
It's not.
They're never small. Okay, Lions smash the Titans. A little bit of Lions pack. We're going to talk about a couple of the biggest moments in baseball history. There's been a lot of big moments the last little while. Then the really anticipated Coach Rob draft.
Do we preface it or do you
I think we should preface it just because the fans that maybe don't want to hear about the moments in baseball history draft, they can go to like minute number 32 and say, what's that mean? Why don't you cue it up? Coach Rob's your best friend.
So I queue up the Coach Rob draft right now?
Yeah.
But we're not talking about it for 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Correct.
Okay. So Coach Rob, fan of the program, guest the program, one of my best friends, actually, gave me this kind of radical football movie character draft idea where it's like, you get characters from any movie, human characters, and make a full football roster using them. They have to be humans. They can't have any kind of
no
superpowers.
Enhanced, no Force, no Jedi.
Nothing.
No Captain America.
They can be athletes.
Yes, they can.
So you can get football athletes from football movies, but you can also get just like other people from non-football movies. So we're doing that later. Like we've got a quarterback, a running back, 3 receivers, a tight end, 3 O-linemen. Right, we said 9 on 9.
Yeah.
And then 3 D-linemen, 3 linebackers, 3 defensive backs, a kicker, which I don't think is a good idea, but you were adamant on that. And then a coaching staff.
Coaching staff.
I have a head coach, an OC, and a DC all prepared.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great. It's going to be radical. One team is going to be good. One's not.
Mine's going to be great.
Look at every draft we've ever done. His draft is usually like out of sequence and doesn't make sense and has
sometimes I grab
breaks
historic
rules.
characters because listen, Walter Payton was unbelievable in the 70s and early 80s. If you put that training regime climbing up the hills to like the Rocky Drago training regime, he's going to be a beast.
Yep.
So you have to historical context is important.
Historical context in all facets is really important.
Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain playing against plumbers.
That's another historical context important. I will say this. With this draft, it's going to be a little all over the place. No biopics. No athletes from biopics. Like, I can't draft... Like, you can't draft Michael Jordan, obviously. Not that Space Jam's a biopic or anything. You can't draft Mike.
Okay.
Did you have Michael Jordan written down?
I did not.
Okay, good. And then, for example, I recently watched little-known 70s TV movie, Brian's Song. I don't know if you know this.
Heard about it.
It's about...
Sad, right?
Yeah, it's about the awesome Bears running backs in the 60s, whose names I'm forgetting.
Gale Sayers is one of them.
Sayers, and then Brian Piccolo was the other.
Okay.
R.I.P. Brian Piccolo. And maybe Gale Sayers, too.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyways... That movie's about Gale Sayers and this awesome Bears team, so I can't draft them, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Oh,
because they're playing real athletes.
Okay.
Follow?
Yeah, I can't draft Bo Jackson because he's been in movies.
Correct. Yeah, no Shaq in any of his movies. Or is that fair game?
I don't have. I am down. I considered him, but I didn't pick him.
Okay, we'll come to that later.
Like if NFL guys are in movies later in their careers or even during their careers, and they just kind of. You know who I'm talking about. There's several of them. I'm not going to list them just because even though you looked at all my information.
I didn't even look at it, buddy.
For sure you did. Anyway, let's just say Barry Sanders was in Necessary Roughness.
I don't even know what that is. Right?
Okay, good. Could we draft Barry Sanders?
Yeah, but you're not getting Barry Sanders. You're just getting the guy in the movie.
Exactamundo.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
Sure, whatever.
Fonz, actually. He'd be a good coach.
Sure. Okay, now talk about off the tops, please, or something.
I just need to chat about the Chicago Bears loss. We were watching the game, and it was terrible coaching on both teams.
Well, right? Dan Quinn's going to win Coach of the Year, so remember that.
I know, but he did not handle it really well to basically set up a 55-yard Hail Mary with an injured quarterback and not great or tall wide receivers.
Fact. Yeah, like we were watching all the games and bouncing around. And then I just switched that one. Like, we're just going to focus on this because it's close.
So I don't remember the name of the DB. Like, what a terrible
It's
move.
like Tyreek Stevenson or something along those lines.
It's so bad, taunting the fans before the play and during the play. I counted 4 seconds of the play happening. And these guys run 40 yards in 4 seconds. So they're almost in the end zone before he decides, oh, I need to go help out. Did you hear he was the guy who was supposed to be like the lateral cover guy? Instead, he went up. So Zach Ertz, when he went up, did a good job touching the ball in the air and about 5 DBs around him. Then he just fell into that dude's hand. Easy touchdown.
Yeah, like there's a lot of issues with it. There's a couple good angles. There's one good angle that shows a bunch of Bears fans that were right in the end zone pointing at the game, like at the play, as Stevenson is chirping the fans. So you've got like Stevenson chirping the fans, and then you've got these desperate Bears fans that are like, look behind you, the game's on, and he didn't. Yeah, it's great.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So you've got that. He's the guy that also batted it up, I'm pretty sure. Steve, the cornerback.
I heard that was the case.
Like, I looked at it.
Two guys.
So it looked like it.
Ertz, that Stevenson guy, and maybe one other DB was right there.
So let's just say the Bears are poverty and they're regressing a bit. Which
Listen, they were lucky to have 4 wins anyway.
Yeah, all their advanced numbers are like, these guys are good, but they played nobody and they're not that good.
Yeah,
right?
sorry, Urban Paul, the Bears are not very good.
They're okay. They're just in the best division in football.
Exactly.
But the best team in football in said division.
Yeah, and the problem is they have a lot of division games coming up where, their offensive line will be exposed. Caleb Williams' inability to go to a second receiver or throw the ball downfield will be exposed.
Yeah, he made some plays in the fourth quarter there. But
he did.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, and old man Keenan Allen, retirement home. Like, he's going to be hurt soon again. Anyways, enough Bears Hail Mary talk. Great Hail Mary. Good job for football. Did you guys know Aaron Rodgers threw some Hail Marys? Because I didn't hear that at all this week. Great stuff. It's sarcasm because every time there's a Hail Mary, I can't open any sort of sport anything, app or channel, and it's just Aaron Rodgers propaganda. Done with it.
Terrible.
Darkness retreat.
Terrible.
Okay, what else do you have?
I have a question for you. 3-pointers in the NBA. Like, there's now the narrative on a lot of podcasts and things is too many 3-pointers.
Buddy, this is a podcast. What narrative are you saying we have?
No, on CBS Sports and ESPN and Ryan Russillo talked about it. Are there too many 3-pointers being heaved up in the NBA?
You love these questions.
Yes,
there are too many. What do you want me to say? Like, is it good for the game? No, probably not. Is it an entertaining, watchable product? To a certain extent, no. Some people don't like that, right? So
listen, you're Steph Curry. You can chuck as much as you want. But like Ant-Man, he's one of the most exciting athletes in the league. I do not want him chucking threes. I want him dunking over Wemby.
Did you read those numbers, the Ant-Man? Because you brought him up, so I wasn't sure if you read that. Like, half of his shots are threes, right?
But I think more than half.
Yeah.
And he's shooting at a high clip right now, 41%. But still.
Yeah, I agree. It's, part of that is making up for the Randall thing there. But yeah, it's a lot of threes. Not a lot of NBA fans right now. I get it. Not a lot of basketball fans. What else do you have? Anything?
Do we talk about the Dwayne Wade statue, or is that just a stay away?
That's a stupid topic. Dwayne Wade statue, not the best statue. Dwayne Wade said it best himself.
It's still a statue?
Yeah.
You want to put a statue of me and I'm fat and I have 6 eyes? I'm going to say, great. Thanks for the statue.
Yeah, appreciate that. It's still a statue. So, and when is the last statue that looked good? Like, I feel like every statue, they make the rounds for 24 hours and everyone's like, look how bad it is. And then no one talks about it ever again. So
we'll talk about baseball in a minute, but the Yankees fans trying to steal the ball and the glove from Mookie, that's typical Yankee fan.
Yeah.
That's ghetto.
Yeah, well, did you hear the quotes after the game? Because they were, interviewed or whatever.
Yeah, come to our place, we're going to take it.
They're like, no, they have one good line where it's like, they act like they're in the game. It's like, you come to our spot in the territory and we're going to play defense. We're going to play D. And part of me is kind of like, that's awesome. And then another part of me is like, you kind of assaulted him, right? Like, you grabbed his wrist pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then you tried to, rip his glove. So I'm mixed on it. Like, I have mixed feelings.
It's entertaining for sure. It's terrible.
We don't support it. But if more fan bases did it, we would be entertained. But again, we don't support it.
Oh, the idiot fan last week who reached in, who potentially could have cost his team some runs.
Yeah, that was bad too.
But
not as funny as them assaulting Mookie Betts. And Mookie Betts is one of the nicest guys in baseball, and he's
Mookie
so
actually
awesome.
Didn't react at all. So give Mookie credit.
The dude on San Diego who just commits hate crime, who just yells and swears.
Fernando Tatis? Or?
No, not Tatis. The guy who gets into it with fans in the outfield. I just imagine if a hothead got into it with I would have liked to see a hothead get in this predicament. Anyways, that's what I've got there.
Yeah.
Lions now?
Lions.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so what a crazy game. I mean, the Lions smashed the Titans, and all the prognosticators had the Lions to smash the Titans because it was a bad matchup for Titans because they're poop. Khalif Raymond, he was the guy that was super impressive. And I love the fact that he was a nobody. He's been cut 7 different times, but he's been with the Lions for 4 years because I think Campbell And I think they identified him, or did he come the year before?
Holmes went to Campbell and said,
That's it.
here's this guy, what do you think? Campbell watched 10 minutes, fell in love with him, brought him in.
Yeah. So he's a great third receiver, special teams guy. I love it. And
We've liked him for 3 years, and we talked about him.
yeah, like we don't like him for 80 receptions a year. You don't want him to get a ton of targets. Great underneath guy, run some deep routes, and play tough. He's a good blocker for a guy who's 5'8". Like he looks 5'2" next to some of the big guys. Like next to Penny, he looks like a little kid. But good for Khalif. And then now that's 5 times out of 5. The last weeks when the Lions have played, they've got a Player of the Week award. He was a special teams player. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah, I did. Well, he's probably going to be special team All-Pro. There's right? Like he's the best returner in football right now.
I mean, there has not been a lot of returns this year, so he has a couple more good returns, and he'll be the right end guy.
Yeah, good for Khalif. What else, Jeff?
Yep. Obviously, the win against the Titans showed depth on linebacker, O-line, and offensive skill positions. They got guys. They just keep pulling them out. I hate to say it, but I even saw somebody say they even have depth at quarterback. Like Hooker hasn't got a lot of playing time, but he could manage a game if they needed to for a game.
You think so?
No, I don't.
We haven't seen. We've seen him for like 4 drives.
I think he could manage a game only because I think he can hand it off to Montgomery and Gibbs.
Yeah, well, that's the thing there. 11.5 yards per carry. You're going to win a lot of football games when you average 11.5 a carry.
That's a great stat.
And if you take out the 70-yard run, Gibbs still averaged like 6 yards a carry or something absurd.
Yeah.
Taking away the big chunk play. That's obviously another good pro. We talked about Raymond. These like 38.8 yards per return, the highest average in any game with at least 5 punt returns since the merger in 1970.
It's amazing.
So one of the best return games in football history. Khalif just had right in front of us.
Yep.
That's why all the passing numbers were kind of goofy, right? Because if you looked at the passing numbers and then looked at, how many
if you
points?
looked at Goff and he had, 85 yards passing or something along those lines. And then the NFL is funny because they like sacks don't get affected by rushing yardage. They get affected by passing yardage. And Decker actually didn't have a very good game. I don't know what PFF
I have
said.
some notes on that. He did not. They did not score him very well.
No. So they probably had net 50 yards passing.
Yeah, I the net number I don't really understand. I started to understand a little bit. Net punt sometimes gets me. But you talk about Pro Football Focus. That's kind of how I spent one of my classes today, looking through the Pro Football grades. Standouts on offense: Gibbs, Laporta, Wright, Ragnow, Raymond, in that order, which makes sense.
Laporta, you had second?
I didn't. Pro Football.
Oh, copy.
Yeah. Then Wright, then Ragnow, then Raymond. The O-line didn't score well. Like Zietler scored pretty poorly. Decker scored poorly. And maybe Glasgow didn't score very well. And then the old receivers, Old Man Tim and Old Man Allen didn't score well. But like that was kind of a game script thing. Like they weren't heavily involved. Exactly. So what? We talked about defense a bit. We want to go into defense now. Like we talked enough with the offense.
I want to plant the seed for a future episode. Bauer asked a very good question. What's the funnest offensive unit I've ever seen? And there's lots of good topics. Greatest Show on Turf and Chargers from the early 80s. Let's toss that for a future episode.
Yeah, we won't probably talk about it in a future episode, but we can say we will.
Well, sometimes I write stuff down and we do talk about it in a future episode.
Yeah, I actually have a good... While we're doing future episode topics, I have one that I wrote down. That's actually good, respectfully.
Please bring it forward.
Dream fictional sporting event draft. So, like, Rocky versus Drago in Moscow on Christmas. That would be an example.
That's a good one.
The All Valley tournament where Daniel LaRusso stunned Johnny Lawrence in the finals. Like, that's an example. Over the top with Stallone when he beat that guy arm wrestling.
I just put my hand on backwards and I just kind of flip a switch and I go into a different zone.
That's good there.
That's not bad, eh?
So I think that was pretty bad. I think that's a fun topic because we can talk about cool sports movies and then we can also talk about...
I have to write that down, but quietly.
I wrote it down already, man. I got it right.
I have to write it down on my list.
Oh, man. Poverty list over here.
Poverty list is a good list.
Okay, so we'll talk about defense now because Neanderthal is done talking about offense.
I'm highly developed. I'm not a Neanderthal.
Top 5... That's something a Neanderthal would say. I'm highly developed. Top 5 defense. Anzarike scored really, really well. I think he scored second best next to Gibbs. The whole team. Kirby Joseph scored well. McNeil, Campbell, and Vildor actually.
Sorry, who scored best?
Levi. Anzarike.
Oh.
Yeah. And then,
I thought you said that, but it just didn't compute.
Okay, buddy. Levi's the man. I like Levi.
Levi's played pretty well, and they're playing him at D-tackle, D-end.
They can move around.
love it.
Which we kind of knew when they drafted him. That was one of the things. Was like, this guy can move around. Ali McNeil was kind of thrown as like this hyper athletic guy. And McNeil's a freak athlete. Like he's just
McNeil's awesome.
He's just a guy now. Like he's one of the best tackles.
He could win a dunk contest. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, that's a good take actually. Really good stuff. So we're talking about defense there. Like secondary, Rakestraw had a bad game, but Robertson had a really good game, right?
Very good game. Yep.
So we've got that. Branch, obviously, we talked about. Like didn't.
Who's
do
your
anything crazy.
linebacker? Stand-up linebacker, Nolsky or
Yeah,
whatever.
Nowaski, right? He's my guy.
He's still living in his parents' basement.
He's a Michigan boy. Yeah, actually, I didn't know him.
That's awesome.
I read that today, actually. So yeah, nothing else on the defense. Like obviously, 14 points. There's a stretch where it's like, ooh, defense kind of looks suspect.
We just need to call the Titans first and goal at the 1, and they threw the ball 4 straight times.
You had a really good call.
So bad.
At one point, like, was it a Laporta play? There was one play that you saw them line up, and you're like, oh, I bet they're going to blank. Was it Laporta? Do you remember?
I think it was Laporta. Yeah.
Like you called the play, and it was like, oh, Tony Romo, the good Tony Romo. Like that was cool.
Yeah.
Where was I going with this? What did you just mention?
Titans.
Yeah.
Tossing the ball.
We call it out where it's like run the ball 4 times.
That would have been difficult to predict. First and goal. Oh, they're going to throw it. Second goal. They're going to throw it. Third and goal. They're going to throw it. Fourth and goal. They're going to throw it. Terrible.
And like stupid pass plays, and like I think like the branch on one of the just dumb. Like I'm no matter who's in the backfield.
Yeah, and you're pissing off your offensive line. They don't want to pass block 4 times in a row. They want to smash into the guy in front of them.
And that's why the Titans are poverty, and that's fine. Mason Rudolph, I will say, had a little too much time. He's a little too comfortable. I don't want to hit him in the head with a helmet, but the pass rush didn't get home a ton.
We're aware of the fact that we need some help on the defensive line.
Interesting. Let's talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about the fact that they haven't really blitzed a lot. They blitzed a little bit in the second half, but not a ton.
Did not blitz a ton. They didn't have many pressures or hits, for that matter.
No.
Anzalone had a sack on like a really nice A-gap blitz.
Yes.
Okay. But they didn't blitz a ton. You're right. Didn't need to. Let's talk about the edge. Let's talk about pass rush again, because like we can talk about this forever. We can talk about how they're not going to get Max Crosby or Myles Garrett. We can talk about that some more, but I don't want to because people know that now.
Zadarius Smith is kind of like their 4th round, 5th round pick for that.
So, like, I think it's honestly a 5th or 6th round pick for Smith right now with what the market seems to be.
Pick him up so we can play Sunday against the Packers.
The issue is the longer you wait, he's going to get more expensive at this point with other guys going.
Well,
supply and demand, buddy.
The problem is the market is now shrunk. So if you didn't take economics in any time in your life, excess supply means the price is going to go down. Well, now there's excess demand and limited supply, so the price is going to go up. So if Zadarius Smith was a 6th round draft, was a trade for a 6th round pick 2 weeks ago, now in the next 6 days before the trade deadline, he's jumped up to a 4th round.
The 4th round would definitely be considered an overpay by smart people.
Yep. But they might have to.
They might have to at this point if they want to get a guy. Lions have 5 day 3 picks.
Oh my gosh! Just trade one of them. Pick up a guy.
Trade one of them and go get Zadarius. Like Zadarius Smith is not a stud.
Like sure, it would be fun to get Crosby and Garrett. And people love talking about that. It's not going to happen.
We said
those
this
teams
forever,
are not trading them away, and there's no way the Lions' brain trust is doing that.
So let's talk about that. So I wrote down why not get a guy, and I thought about it a lot today. Like no articles, just like why are the Lions not getting a guy? And I came up with 3 reasons that we kind of all talked about. But like this is just in a concise manner, and I'll say the reason, and you can elaborate as you feel necessary. Cool?
10-4.
Okay. First one is Holmes values his future picks way higher than everyone else.
Agreed.
And I'm not saying like not as a slight.
He has proven to be excellent with those picks.
He should value them higher.
So in Brad we trust.
Yeah, exactly. So he values his higher. That's fair. Second one, hesitant to quote mortgage the future quote.
Yeah, and this is where you get into the question, right? Because you got to win 1 Super Bowl before you win 3 Super Bowls, and that's an easy line to say.
No, it's so well put, though.
I don't know. I would risk a little bit just because you never know what's going to happen. If Casey picks up 2 great receivers and an offensive lineman in draft and trades, then we're not going to beat them for the next 4 years, and that's going to be our window, right? Like Casey's got about a 6-year window with Mahomes just because of their 10-year deal that they signed with him, I don't know, 4 years or so ago. Trade some of the future.
So hesitant to mortgage the future. Again, I don't think a 6th round pick is the future.
No.
But they're hesitant. And the last reason is the one that I haven't heard anybody talk about. Those 2 reasons you've heard people say. No one's talked about this, and I think it's real. It's intangible. Allegiance/loyalty to the locker room.
Agreed.
I think Holmes kind of has a sense of like, I drafted pretty much all these guys. These are all my guys. I owe it to them to show them I believe in them, that we have enough in-house. No one's talking about that. I think that's a really key factor here.
Look, chemistry is very relevant in sports. You look at how the Lions are playing, and they are just playing crazy. And you started to see it last year, right? That Reynolds downfield block when he came out of nowhere and threw his body into Tampa so Amon-Ra could get free for a touchdown. Those types of things happen play after play, game after game. If you get a pain in the ass, diva person like Stephon Diggs or whatever, that's going to mess up your team chemistry.
R.I.P.
Stephon Diggs.
Right there, for real. So I think that's what people aren't talking about. Like, Lions have this mentality, we have enough, and I get it, and I love it. But I think that's, could be to a fault. So that's what I got there.
Would you rather play a slightly dinged up Love or a healthy Malik? What's his last name?
Willis. Yeah,
Willis?
Give me Malik Willis, obviously.
I'll take Malik Willis.
Love's going to play, I'm pretty sure. I did some reading today. I think he'll play. Packers are legit. They're a very good team.
Packers are legit. They're young. They got good wide receivers. They got good guys on D. They got good safeties.
Exactly. Yeah, so I was looking through from top to bottom. They're on a 4-game win streak. They're 8th in DVOA, which is kind of like the best team in football stat, pretty much. The amount of offensive weapons they have, like, they have 4 receivers that I think are all really good.
Yep.
They have a really good tight end who kind of came out of nowhere, Tucker Kraft. They've got a great running back, no backup really because some injuries. And defense, you talk about defense. They got a lot of guys on defense. Really good front. Xavier McKinney is
Who's
guys.
pick up? Who's their running back?
Old man Josh Jacobs.
Oh, that's right, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. He'll be good for 2 years and then he'll rot, which is fine.
Under.
Oh, you think like start at halfway through next year? It's like,
Yep.
oh, this is a bad contract?
Yep.
Yeah. So they've got guys. Love's banged up. Jair Alexander, who's kind of up and down, he's banged up too. I'm really nervous for this game. The Packers scare me. They've haunted me my whole life.
Yeah,
right?
obviously no J-Mo. Josh Pascal still this injury,
Free J-Mo.
illness thing.
Free J-Mo.
Are we going to talk about J-Mo?
Free him. Free him.
Okay, free J-Mo.
Thank you.
Free J-Mo.
Do you want to talk about the officiating? Do you know about this? I don't want to go into much about it.
What do you mean the officiating?
So little known fact, Cleet Bakeman is this gentleman's name. He was actually charged for war crimes a few years ago, and he's officiating the game. And by war crimes, I mean October 14th, 2019, a fateful Monday night in Green Bay, Wisconsin, was the Flowers hands to the face where they called him for 2 fake penalties. Oh. Do you remember that game? It was like 22-13.
Yes, I do.
I remember that game so well. This was
good.
one of my first like I can go back and tell you. I remember this game so well. I remember Prater and like and not calling a PI would have given the Lions the win. Anyways, the guy who's officiating this game is a certified war criminal terrorist. Can I say that in a historical context?
I think so.
Yeah. So historically speaking, he's a war criminal.
From Kosovo?
I don't know where that is. Is
Afghanistan?
No, whoa, dude. No,
just giving you places where there's been wars in the last 30 years.
Just from America. He's a bad man, and he's officiating the game. Okay. Let's not get us canceled again, buddy.
Who canceled us?
The Afghanistan terrorists. Okay, next segment. Anything else on Lions Packers or no?
Nope.
Okay. There's a bad man refereeing the game if I haven't mentioned it.
Okay.
Now we'll talk about, what do you want to talk about
We'll just talk about it briefly. A couple of,
go ahead.
This playoffs has had some unbelievably big moments, home runs, that kind of stuff. Obviously, Kerry Carpenter's 3-run home run, enormous. But, I mean, the big one that people are talking about is the Freddie Freeman Grand Slam home run to walk off. That was jump out of your seat electric.
Windsor native, Freddie Freeman as well.
His mom was from Windsor. R.I.P. Freddie's mom.
But Freddie Freeman's a Windsor native. He's a local. He's representing the city.
I saw him at Kota a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman's a local legend. Thank you for representing Windsor. Put us on the map again.
So Bao wanted us to talk about, was it Bao again?
I think it was Bao.
Holy smokes, he's giving us lots of content.
Yeah, show
he's
Bao.
He's pretty much our producer.
Wiz.
Yeah. What'd you call him?
Wiz. Old man Wiz.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just throw out a couple other home runs that made you jump out of your seat. The Gibby home run in Oakland when he was playing on 2 bad legs versus the unbeatable Dennis Eckersley. I don't know if young bloods understand the importance of that.
They probably don't.
Home run. Like Eckersley was unbeatable. He was Mariano Rivera before Mariano Rivera. Eckersley actually started as a starting pitcher. Then he transitioned to be a closer. Nobody could stop him. Gibby shouldn't even been playing. Lasorda's playing heads game with him. Gibby walks up to the plate with like two injured, like one injured knee and one injured like hamstring. Had a couple of weak ass swings and then smashed a home run and limped around the field.
Okay, any more baseball moments?
The Joe Carter walk-off World Series home run off Mitch Williams, that was a big deal.
Okay.
Holy
poverty.
I'm just going to give you one more. Carlton Pudge Fisk getting the home run in the 12th in the World Series to tie up versus the Big Red Machine, where he's like doing this, go fair, go fair, go fair, go fair. Accurately described quite well in Good Will Hunting.
I remember. I starred in that movie.
R.I.P. Robin Williams.
For real, that's my guy.
For real.
Did any other baseball moments?
No.
Okay, good.
That was good. That was a good section.
Yeah, there's a few good baseball moments. Like obviously not including like Jackie Robinson. Like that doesn't count.
There's all sorts of that kind of stuff. But that goes without saying. Hank Aaron 715, Ripken breaking Lou Ray, all that kind of stuff. Robert Ventura deciding to rush Nolan Ryan. That was great.
Yeah, like 40-year-old Nolan Ryan, like beat the crap out of him, right?
He was over 40.
Cool. Okay, good baseball moment. Now we'll talk about the draft, right? We're gonna do the draft.
Set it up. Yes.
Okay, so I already prefaced the draft with kind of the rules. Football draft. We're making a team. Drafting from movies. Can't be aliens. Can't be altered humans. It just got to be normal humans. Normal humans can be athletes. That's fair game.
We should probably do a couple questions.
Okay.
Let's just
get your binder so you don't.
Yeah. Let's just say
Let's just say what?
I have this friend. Let's say I want to draft Tim Allen just because he's good, and Tim Allen is in multiple movies. Let's say Tom Hanks actually.
Okay, I think what you're saying is
can I draft
once Arnold's off the board, Arnold's done. Once Stallone's off the board, Stallone's done.
Okay, copy that.
I think that's fair game, right?
That's fair. I just wanted to clarify.
I don't think we do.
Because I don't want you to have Rocky Balboa, Rocky Balboa, Rocky Balboa, Rocky Balboa.
That's bush league. If you just be like, okay, I'll just have every Arnold human movie. That's not fair.
Yeah, that's and did we say we have a kick returner?
No, that's the receiver running back. You figure that out. Okay, you want to get your binder to write on, buddy?
Yeah, I have two different highlighters. Yeah, I'm gonna be good.
Okay, so
I'm gonna be really good.
Can I go first? Are you going first? What's the deal?
You can go first.
Okay, so quarterback's the most important position in football.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with the quarterback, and I don't even think he's on your board, but he's definitely the best player in the draft. So I'm gonna go with him now. Do I go quarterback or do I just go with the fun pick that is so easy?
What? Either way,
okay,
I'm gonna win
because I don't think you know the quarterback I want to pick. So
I think I do. It's written down on a post-it note that I added after the fact.
Because there's in my
mind, I added two quarterbacks after the fact.
Let's talk about this draft. So I think there's two top candidates in the draft. There's a quarterback and a non-quarterback.
Yeah,
quarterback's the most important position of football. That's how you win games.
But certain positions, one.
I got to go Bob Boucher.
You got to pick Bob Boucher. That's fair.
I really wanted to not, and I wanted to get a quarterback and be smart and analytical. And I know linebacker is bad positional value, first of all. Bob Boucher is the best player in football history.
But yeah, Bob,
you've seen that movie.
Unbelievable. Look at his stats.
So I got to go Bobby out one. Give me Bobby.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Actually, here's the thing. I actually have 5 quarterbacks. I'm not 100% certain whom to pick.
Okay.
I do have a question for you. Because
yeah.
There's a Hall of Fame quarterback that was in a movie about himself.
That's so bush league. Whoever that is, no. We're talking about the Tom Brady movie?
No.
80 for Brady?
Kurt Warner.
Oh, no, that counts as a biopic. And
okay, yeah. All right, just clarifying.
Yeah, so biopic, we said earlier.
I just needed to clarify. This is super hard because there's so many good quarterbacks.
Pitch clock, buddy. I'm up next.
Listen, I listen. Braden just called me about a trade, so I got to listen to the trade offer. Okay, I'm just going to throw out a couple of the names, and I'm going to see what the fans have to say about it.
Buddy, there's no fans.
Shane Falco, necessary roughness, good pick. He's not high enough. Jamie Foxx from Every Given Sunday. Willie Beeman, amazing player. It's down to 2, so it's not going to be either of those guys. So it's either going to be Paul Crew or Uncle Rico.
Okay.
Both spectacular. See, Uncle Rico's the big unknown, and he could just be unbelievable. He could be Joe Montana.
That's a really good point. So can I explain it?
Sure you can.
Okay, Napoleon Dynamite, one of the funniest movies of all time. You'll either love it or hate it. Uncle Rico is this very strange, obscure character who is Like,
It's awesome.
talks as if he would have been Tom Brady.
Yep.
And then we
All
see
the
him
time. See him
briefly
throwing.
playing football. He doesn't look great, but I think it could go a long way over
Well,
the mountain.
maybe he's just got a snappy sidearm delivery.
For all we know, that video of him throwing sidearm, he was just trying a different arm slot. For all we know. So, are you going Uncle Rico?
I'm going to stick with Paul Crewe.
From what? You have to say the movie. Paul Crewe from...
Adam Sandler in The Longest Yard.
Okay, it's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's the wrong quarterback.
Who did you have?
Flash Gordon from Flash Gordon.
Oh, that's a good pick. I did not have him on my
so
board.
you're saying.
That's all. New York Jets quarterback.
So he's a Jets quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, we don't see him play football at all, but the way he's described in the movie, as if he's like Joe Montana, Tom Brady hybrid.
Yeah. Why? It might have been Joe Namath.
Oh, well, that's what they were going for.
Just because
Right?
it came out in like 78 or something, right?
I should know that. It was in the 70s. Yeah, I think you're late 70s. You're right. So
Okay.
Flash Gordon, just like look it up.
That's good.
Jets quarterback. He's awesome.
There's a couple of knowns. All right. How is he going to age? Realistically,
Yeah.
that was 2 wide receivers, a running back, a fullback, and a tight end.
You're right. That's a really good thing. I didn't
Whereas
think
you
about.
know Adam Sandler, he can have everybody unblocked and still make plays.
Well, I just realized Adam Sandler is 2 of the first 3 picks, right? Like Paul Crewe, Adam Sandler, and Bobby Boucher, Adam Sandler. Yes. I like grown-ups, Adam Sandler, right? Like, you ever see the movie Wedding Singer? I'd like that, Adam Sandler.
Okay,
No more Adam Sandler. That's a rule.
Fair enough.
You can have Paul Crewe. I have Bobby.
Okay, that's good.
Also, I just like to make a rule for this league: no targeting penalties, no unnecessary roughness penalties, no unsportsmanlikes. Because Bobby Boucher is not going to hold up well in 2024 roughing the passer
No,
calls.
he certainly won't.
So I'm waiving those penalties before anyone
Yeah,
says
it's like 1970s rules,
yeah.
but 2020s offensive and skill
Sure.
position. Yeah, that's
okay. So I have Flash Gordon at quarterback, Bobby Boucher at linebacker.
Okay, so now I need a guy, and again, there's so many amazing players on the board here. I'm going to go for quite possibly the most famous athlete in a movie who's a pain in the butt, but super funny. I got to go with Rod Tidwell from Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. He's good.
A really good pick.
Yeah.
He's a great receiver.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a great wide receiver.
He talks a lot. I'm not sure if he's going to hurt locker room chemistry a little bit, but I need some talent, right? Like I got a quarterback, I got to set him up.
So at this point, positional value is kind of out the window.
Yeah.
I will say this. I wanted to draft Paddington Bear as like a little slot receiver. He's not a human, so I can't. But let the record show I wanted to draft Paddington Bear.
Okay.
I would go with Forrest Gump here, running back.
I had Forrest as a wide receiver, actually.
We're not sure. Well, we don't really know his hands. I think he returns kicks, right?
Oh, I think he was just going to be end around.
No, he
but
doesn't
that's
even
okay.
return kicks because they catch the ball and then hand it to him.
Oh, that's right.
So he's going to be running back. I don't
No,
think he can.
But honestly, like he can do end arounds and just hand him the ball.
Gadget guy. I think Forrest Gump's probably winning the Heisman. Like Forrest Gump probably won the Heisman that year and didn't go pro to pursue a ping pong and a different
Yeah,
career.
I think he was All-American. I don't think he won the Heisman.
I don't know. Bama, big school. They were probably undefeated that year. If they were the 1 seed in the country, he would have been Heisman. Forrest Gump, running back. Let's go.
Yeah, there's some great guys there.
Let's go, Forrest. Forrest and Bobby in the locker room isn't
Okay,
great.
now I get to dip into one of the greatest football movies ever, Remember the Titans. And the guy that I'm going to play is probably a stand-up DN, but also can be a good cover linebacker. I got to go with Julius Campbell from the Titans. And talk about a locker room guy. He's going to unite the whole locker room. Any race, any color, any position. He's bringing everybody together.
Great pick.
That's a great pick.
Great pick.
Yeah.
So let's go through who you have.
I've got I got Paul Crewe as my quarterback, throwing to Rod Tidwell, wide receiver, and Julius Campbell. And I have him as defensive line.
Yeah, I have him at. He'd probably be like an outside linebacker, but you can probably throw him at the line.
Yeah, lots of good guys.
So quarterback's taken care of. I have Forrest Gump at running back, and I have Bobby Boucher at linebacker. I'm gonna go with tight end here.
Okay.
And I can move him around a bit. He could probably play both ways, but I'm going to go with Ivan Drago.
It's a good pick.
And I see him as a tight end, and I see him as just like the best tight end in football. I think he'll be a beast. Steroids or no steroids, doesn't matter. Bit of a language barrier, but he's going to be fine. We're gonna catch him up to speed. Simple playbook. Ivan Drago,
Just a
linebacker.
question about drug rules. How heavily enforced are they in this league?
Not that heavily enforced. We're not going to test
Okay.
too much.
Okay, well that makes a difference.
Only the heavy stuff.
So listen,
Soviet Russia drugs.
if I picked Julius Campbell, I thought for sure you were going to pick his partner on defense. I got to go with pre-injury Gary Bertier from the Titans.
Drunk driver.
And he's my Mike linebacker. He's the middle of the D. He's got the green dot on his helmet. He's where all the players are going into. And the chemistry between Julius and Bertier be fantastic.
Yeah, people who like Titans are can eat that up. He did get in a fatal accident.
Wasn't fatal.
Okay.
It did affect his football career, certainly. But this is pre-injury. I said that already.
Yeah, okay. Did get injured later, though. I'm going to go with... there's so many options. Like, there's guys that just want to pick because they're cool. Yeah. And then it's like, I should also make a smart team. So I'm going to go with Andre the Giant here.
Oh, I had Andre the Giant. Now, where do you have him playing?
I have him at offensive line.
Yeah,
I'll
me
probably
too.
have him as a tackle.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant, all 7'4" of him. Princess Bride, Andre the Giant, like, doesn't really matter. I'll go Princess Bride, Andre the Giant at tackle. So there's one of my 3 O-linemen.
That's a good pick. So then, you know what? Since now you're going to have a run of offensive linemen, I'm going to pick Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando. Because I think that was peak Arnold. I think his name was Dutch in the movie.
It was Dutch.
So I'm picking Arnold to be my left tackle. Like, who's getting past Arnold?
So I had him at D-line. I had him as an edge, but I think he can play either way. That's fine.
He went both ways back in Austria.
Yeah, he did. So I don't have any D linemen yet.
No.
I'm gonna go with John Coffey here from Green Mile.
Oh, that's a good pick.
And
he's shorter than you think, but that's okay.
And before,
before like he's doing all the stuff.
Yeah, before he died as well. Before
he died. That's a good call.
I have him on offensive line as well. He's too nice to be a defensive lineman, I think. But I think I can have
John Coffey as an offensive lineman. Yeah, I can see that. That's a good play.
So the O-line is looking real strong and diverse, too. John Coffey and Andre the Giant. You're up, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. So many good guys. I decided I need a DB who can just do anything and is an unbelievable athlete. So I'm going with Bruce Lee from Enter the Dragon as a DB. He's going to be my free safety. Who's going to try and break a tackle from Bruce Lee?
How tall was he?
He's about 5'9".
So I'll take the under on 5'9". I bet he's probably 5'7".
Probably. It doesn't matter. He's Bruce Lee.
Okay. Hope
he
can
fought
jump.
Kareem, no problem.
Okay. So I don't have any wide receivers yet.
Yeah, you have a guy you can hand the ball to if you put it directly in his stomach.
I'm gonna pick Maverick from Top Gun as a slot receiver. So sure. Tom Cruise. You don't like that pick?
Actually, I don't like that pick.
Buddy, you see him playing on the beach? He's the best player there. Top Gun, Maverick, Tom Cruise, in his prime, slot receiver. Just like Wes Welker, unguardable. He's going to be open all the time, and you won't know how, but he's just open. Just like that.
Okay, so Maverick from slot. Say if we're going wide receiver then, I'm going to pick Deacon Moss, played by Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
In Longest Yard. That's a great pick, and he's awesome. Who's guarding him?
I knew you were going to stack up.
Yeah,
stack up Longest Yard guys. That's fine.
Yeah, I like the movie.
I like the movie,
and there's a couple of guys still on the board here from Longest Yard.
Okay, I'm going to go with... I can't go Paddington Bear. I don't have any D-linemen. Can I go Thunder Lips from Rocky 3?
Sure you can.
Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan, yeah, that's a good pick.
Okay.
What's Hulkster? He's a defense lineman?
D-line Hulkster. Thunder Lips, Rocky 3. Locker room issue, but like it's okay. It'll work. D-line.
Okay. Just got to make sure you got the right person here.
Oh, man. His notes are so poverty.
I have John Matuszek, who was a former NFL player who played Sloth from the Goonies as a defensive lineman.
Did his face look like that?
His face did look like that. He doesn't even need to wear a helmet. That's how tough he is.
Okay, that's a really good pick.
That was a stretch. That took me a while to think of that.
That's a good pick. I like that.
From the Goonies. A great movie, too.
Okay, Willie Hayes Mays from Major League, defensive back.
Oh, yeah, he's fast.
Probably could return as well. Could be a wide receiver. But I need a defensive back. So, like, I just look at Deion Sanders is essentially who he's going to be. So, Willie Hayes Mays, Major League.
Okay.
Now you're up, buddy.
I'm obviously just going for an all-athlete defensive backfield, and I will have the toughest defensive backfield ever in the world to live. Bruce Lee. Who should go right next to Bruce Lee? Chuck Norris from the Missing in Action series.
That's really good.
Yeah, Chuck Norris.
Was he fast?
He was fast. And
I
he's
didn't see a lot of
tough.
Chuck. Okay.
Chuck was great. Again, anybody who's my vintage, Coach Rob is going to really endorse those two safeties.
Okay. So Stallone hasn't
And because
been
you're
picked.
not really doing man-to-man defense here. Like you're kind of playing a bit of a zone.
Okay. Stallone hasn't been picked yet.
Ooh,
So I'm going to go with this Stallone.
yeah.
I've got two. I've got Rambo and I've got Rocky staring right at me in the face here. I think for the sake of my locker room, Rocky makes more sense.
Yeah, which one?
Rocky 3.
Okay, I had him down as a DB. I don't even know where you're playing him.
I think I'm going to play him at wide receiver. I think I'm going to
So
play
your
Rocky.
wide receivers are Maverick, Rocky, and Forrest Gump.
No, Forrest Gump's a running back and Ivan Drago's a tight end.
Okay.
Rocky Balboa, wide receiver. He's got hands too. Give me Rocky. My next receiver, I'm going to have to make him taller.
You'll have to make him taller.
But I got to get Rocky. Like, I just can't not, right? So give me Rock.
Well, it's interesting. I don't have a running back yet. So there's lots of good running backs, and there's like movie running backs, but I need some character. I need some guts back there. So I'm debating with two guys. Both of them are tough as nails. I guess I got to go with Apollo Creed as my running back.
I had Apollo down as well.
Yeah, for sure. Just because I'm not going to tell you who my other running back is. I'll tell you that afterwards.
Okay.
Like there's movie running backs, but I have another good character running back.
Okay.
I'll tell you about him later.
I'm going to go with linebacker, my second linebacker, Vontae Mack.
Vontae Mack, solid pick. Yeah,
Draft
I had
day.
him high.
One of the best draft prospects in recent history. Watch his game tape. Draft day. Great movie. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman as well.
Yeah.
Give me Vontae Mack no matter what.
Okay, so I could pick an offensive lineman here, but I've kind of what I've been doing is when you pick somebody at a position, I pick the same position but a better player. It's kind of worked well for me. So I'm actually going to go with linebacker Maximus Decimus
I
Meridius.
had him down next.
Yeah, well, you should have picked him.
Buddy.
Who's tougher than the Gladiator?
That's a really good pick.
Yeah,
That's a great. Like
that's
I just.
a good pick.
He's a great.
How did
linebacker.
he actually fell? Well, the problem is, like, we had to go back in time to grab him, so the Bill and Ted's time machine thing wasn't working.
Is the Dick Butkus Award best linebacker in football?
I think so.
Gladiator probably has a couple of those.
He's
back in
got
his day.
a couple of those back in his day. They different rules back then. Like they used spears.
So I'm gonna wrap up. I have a lot of options here. Receivers are kind of poverty for me. My O line's really good. I'm gonna go D line. Can I go Bane from Dark Knight Rises?
No, I think I
he
thought
altered?
about him. I think he's enhanced.
Okay, then I will go Jaws, not the shark Jaws from the Bond movies.
Excellent. I had
Edge.
him going offensive line, but I know he played both when he went to Bond villain college. He went both ways.
He's an edge. Him and Thunderlips on
Him and
right now are my
Thunderlips.
D linemen. So that's good stuff. You're up.
Okay, I almost want to pick one of my other running backs because there's so many good characters.
I would be okay. I would allow you if you
So-
shuffled them around.
No, it's okay. I'm just going to finish off my defensive backfield because I think this is really going to control the play. I've got Stefan Georgievich, Tom Cruise from In All the Right Moves. You don't even know who that is. Coach Rob, just give me the kudos for that. He was the DB.
So I have Maverick Tom Cruise. So we each get a Tom Cruise.
We each get a Tom Cruise.
Okay. So I can't go with Bane for the D line.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with. I need another defensive back. Snake Plissken, Escape from New York.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah,
Definitely,
Snake's solid.
He definitely played college ball. He got kicked off the
Yeah.
team, but he played college ball.
He got kicked off for doing drugs, selling drugs,
Yeah.
killing a guy.
Assaults. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snake Plissken. Go watch Escape from New York. Actually, a really awesome movie
Yeah,
as well.
very good. So offensive lineman, I have. Hang on. I have Arnold, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, from Commando.
You have
So
Dutch.
I wrote down that wrong. So I need.
Is that
I only have one offensive lineman, so I need another tough offensive lineman who's nobody's getting by, strong. He's going to be my center. I'm going to pick Chung Lee from Bloodsport.
Did you steal my notes?
I did not, but it's an obvious pick.
Okay, so explain Bloodsport without getting
Bloodsport
saying the
is
bad
just
thing.
a terrible movie. Karate with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm going to say late 80s, mid 80s.
I think 86 maybe.
So Chung Lee was the bad guy who was actually he was the bad guy in a Bruce Lee movie in the 70s.
Cool.
He's just a huge, muscular, mean dude. And Chung Lee, he's not great for the locker room, but He's a great center.
He's awesome. Bloodsport's a great movie. Go watch Bloodsport. Hasn't held up the best.
It hasn't held up the best.
Specifically, one element.
One certain character, one fighting style, quite unique.
You can reach out to us if you want to hear about it.
Yeah, DM us for more information.
No, don't DM us. Okay, I need another offensive lineman. I'm going to go
Nobody's tougher than Chung Lee.
This is a center. I'm going to go with the Whale from The Whale.
Oh, no. Brendan Roberts?
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser? That's terrible.
He's going to be my center. No one's getting by him. He's going to be called for some holding penalties because I think
He's going to be called for some falling penalties.
Weighs about 800 pounds. But The Whale from The Whale. One of the worst movies I've ever seen, if not the worst.
It's so bad.
But he's a big fella. He's taking up a lot of room up front. Good luck getting by him.
Yep.
All-pro center.
Okay.
Frank Ragnow-esque The Whale.
Okay, my
O-line's done now. So.
O-line's done. Good for you. I need another guy in my defensive line because I want to hold that up. I've got Jesse the Body Ventura from Predator. Right? He's an easy pick. He's a beast, too.
Where'd you say you're playing him?
Defensive tackle.
Okay. I'm going to go with Indiana Jones.
Indy.
And I don't...
What's Indy doing?
I'm going to put him at safety. I just needed Indiana Jones on my team.
Sure, got it.
Great. He's probably my captain as well. Great value for a captain. Indiana Jones.
You don't have a running back yet.
I have Forrest Gump, best running back in the nation.
Oh, that's right. Okay, got it.
So we have a couple more picks. We're just about done, but Indy I'll play at D-back.
Okay.
So you're up.
Have I finished my defensive line? I don't think I have. You know who I need? I need Meanie from Waterboy.
Good. Yeah, it's a good pick.
Yeah, he's mean, but he can play fullback too. He can switch over to fullback.
So
he wasn't not so successful against the Waterboy, so I just need to be strategic about playing him against the Waterboy. But if Waterboy has to take a breath, I'm throwing Meanie on offense too.
Yeah, well, I got Bobby Boucher.
I know.
I'm gonna go with John Wick, and I'm gonna play him at wide receiver. I just think there's enough transferable skills. He's tall too, which I needed an X receiver. I needed a big guy or wide receiver, whatever tall one is. John Wick, wide receiver. So I've got some size there now.
Okay, tight end. I'm picking Wilt Chamberlain from Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, there you go. Knew you were gonna do some obscure 1970s NBA star in some
He's
weird
7'2",
in some weird
285 pounds.
I think Wilt was 7'1".
Okay. Who's guarding Wilt? Let me just take a peek at your defensive backs or linebackers.
Yeah.
They're all about 5'4".
Height's an issue.
Height's an issue.
Height's an issue. But the pass rush will be getting home, so it's fine. Okay, so what else do I have? So my O-line is done. I'm going to read my team and recount yours.
Okay.
So my quarterback's Flash Gordon. My running back is Forrest Gump.
Yep.
My wide receivers are Rocky Balboa, Maverick, and John Wick.
Okay.
My tight end is Ivan Drago. My O-line is Andre the Giant, John Coffey, and The Whale. My D-line is Thunderlips, Jaws. I need another. My linebackers are Bobby Boucher, Vontae Mack, and I need another. My defensive back, Willie Hayes Mays, Snake Plissken, and Indiana Jones. So I've got 2 more picks. So you have 2 more picks as well to round out your team.
I think so.
Not including kicker. We're not doing kicker.
We're not doing kicker?
No, we've been going long enough. We got school and work and such.
That's true.
So are you up? No, I think I'm up.
You go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to go with a linebacker, matching your gladiator pick. This is my backup. Spartacus from Spartacus.
Solid.
Captain, I am Spartacus. Give me him. Linebacker.
Okay, I don't know who I need still.
Off-ball.
I think I may need one linebacker. I'm picking Lawrence Taylor. Character is Luther LeVay from Any Given Sunday before he broke his back.
Yeah. Does he do drugs in the movie too, or just real life? Just do cocaine before games in real life?
Just in real life. Yeah. He was also in Waterboy, Lawrence Taylor.
Who does he show up as? It's been
Lawrence Taylor, and he tells the kids, don't do drugs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I got one more pick, and it's a D lineman, and I'm just about out of names. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm just gonna go with a coach, draft a coach a little early. Is that fair game?
Yeah, sure.
So head coach, I'll take Herman Boone from Remember the Titans. Boone, that's my guy. Denzel. So
I had him down as my first pick.
So he's my head coach.
So I'm going to pick Henry Winkler from Waterboy as my coach. This is after he did the coochie coo thing and he got all his confidence back.
Okay, good one. I'm going to go with another coach. I'm going to go with Oppenheimer.
Ooh, that's smart.
Now, I'm not sure his football knowledge, but Oppie's the man. He's going to be my offensive coordinator. He's going to have him defense, but, he built a bomb It's more of an offensive strategy. So I would say Oppenheimer as my offensive coordinator. J. Robert, that is.
So you know who my second coach is?
Oh.
Coach Rob Blondin.
What? That's not fair.
He's the leader of men.
I want Coach. How did you draft Coach Rob? I didn't have him down.
Can't pick Dan Campbell because he's real, and I don't know if he's been in enough movies, but Coach Rob Blondin.
What movie was he in?
I saw something on Facebook.
No, that's so not fair.
He was in the space zombie movie just last Saturday. He was one of the zombies.
I'm really upset.
I think we're calling it now because you should just fold.
Okay, fine. Then that's fine. We'll call it. My next coach is Billy Bean, from Moneyball. Not a football guy, but he's a smart guy.
He's a good guy,
and he's a good team builder. So give me Billy Bean somewhere. I'm really upset you drafted my real life friend, Coach Rob.
I know, that's a good scoop.
I'm gonna text him. I'm so upset. Okay,
you should be upset. Okay, thanks, fans. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up next week. We got a good trip.
Don't mind now, bro.
In about 8 hours, we're leaving for New York. We're going to watch football Thursday night. We're going to watch the Nets Friday night. We don't really know what we're doing on Saturday.
Obscure movie.
And we're going to watch the Giants and the Commanders on Sunday. Then we're flying home. Obviously, we don't have tickets for anything. But we'll have a great time. And we're going to get in everything because that's how we roll.
Yeah, stay sleeping. We'll send some good pictures. I'll keep the folks updated.
Yeah, and Stephen Drippy, keep up.
Okay, I agree. What else do you have to say? Any New York thoughts or trip thoughts or what?
Thanks, fans. Keep doing what you do.